Okay, again, it's time to thank the source of all of the provisions that we have, and that's God alone and no one else. And so we should be cognizant of this fact that without having God as a supporter, we have nobody as a supporter. So we should make sure that we understand it and thank the source of all of the blessings that we have and all of the favors that He bestowed upon us. So this is something that we should practice all the time and have it in the forefront of our minds and hearts that that we are here by God's grace. And again, He has given us another chance to redeem ourselves and make a better human being out of ourselves. So this is a huge blessing for us and a huge honor that God has bestowed upon us today. Again, gratefulness and appreciativeness is a godlike quality, and God is always grateful to us for what we do, all the righteous acts that we do. He's grateful, and so what we have to do, we have to respond in kind and be grateful to the source of all of the favors and blessings that He's bestowed upon us. So these are not by accident. This is by divine design. And as I always say, some of the blessings that we have are basically under our noses, and we neglect them. We don't thank for them. The light switch that you flick, and there comes light, and when you don't need it, you turn it off. Those are all blessings from Him, and they're not there by accident. Should not be taken for granted. It's just a simple example that I've talked before, and just repeat these things so we'll have it right. As I said, right in front of us, and we neglect them, and we think that they're supposed to be there. So, what I wanted to discuss with you, I wanted to go ahead and basically talk to you about God's huge mercy and tolerance. This is amazing. Okay, I'm going through the Quran translation of the Quran that we have online, and I went and searched for the word intercession. Okay, and the first occurrence of this word is in 248, and so we just click on it. It says that, and fear the day when no soul can help another soul, and no intercession will be accepted, and no ransom will be taken, and no one will be helped. Okay? This verse by itself is telling us that there are some intercessions on that day, and that is absolutely amazing. Okay? That God actually allows this. God who knows the secrets and declarations, God who knows everything in vacuum and matter, God who knows all things, He still allows this kind of thing to go on. It is amazing. Okay, so I go back again to chapter 2, verse 30. It says that, okay, then the angels, they said, are you sure you're going to do this? Angels were right there in front of God. And when God says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put a human being as a Khalifa on earth, or in charge of matter, okay, they are actually questioning that wisdom of God. Is that a wise decision? That's what they're asking. And they're allowed to ask that question. Again here, intercession. Some guy stands up on that day and he said, I intercede on this guy's behalf because I know he's a good guy. Can you imagine the audacity of that statement? He's telling God that basically he knows better than God. But God allows it. That is amazing. This is absolute tolerance of God. And He allows these things to go on. And now look, we go in here and go next one. It says, And fear the day when no soul can help another soul in the least, and no ransom will be accepted from her, and no intercession will benefit her, and no one will be helped. Okay? So that means that there are intercessors who do something in there on that day on behalf of somebody. I don't know who that person is. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. The idea is the act. That this act of intercession is still allowed, and they are not punished for that. And God listens to that. Okay? So we go on. It says that, oh, you have attained faith, spent from what we have provided for you before the coming of a day when there are no ransom and no nepotism and no intercession. And the unfaithful are always transgressors. Right? Again, this act goes on. Well, nepotism is obvious because, you're related to somebody that's there. Ransom, I'll give everything. Okay? And then intercession. It still goes on. Okay? Click on it again. Okay? And then it says, and no one can possess any intercessions except those who have received the promise from the All-Gracious. Can you imagine that? So he promised somebody that you can intercede on this guy's behalf. Or he's worthy of having some kind of lawyer there. Some kind of defense attorney, so to speak. Okay? Amicus curiae. That's what they call it, the friend of the court. He allows that. Can you imagine that? That is amazing. Okay? On that day, it just goes on, okay? 2109. It says, on that day, no intercession will be beneficial except for the one that the All-Gracious permits and his utterance is pleasing to him. Okay? Now the question is, with all of these things, what would you do? Okay? There are people who are looking for proof. They are looking for something. When God says something, they want something also as proof, and he gives it to you. And then there are those people who say, we hear and we obey. When he says, do not eat the meat of the pig, they say, yes, sir, we obey. Then there are those people who try to analyze that. The reason that he told you that, because it has trichinosis. Okay. Then you learn later on that also beef has trichinosis too. It could have trichinosis too. And then you're devastated. Your whole house of cards drops. There's a reason that God said something, and you have to put your trust in his wisdom and say, we hear and we obey. Okay? Then we go on. Okay. And no intercession is acceptable to him except for the one whom he permits. Now, some guy stands up and says, oh, God, I want to intercede on this guy's behalf. Okay, go ahead. Can you imagine that? That is amazing. That is amazing tolerance. I mean, who would do that? Think about this a little bit. Okay? This is something that he says, look, it has to be according to the truth. Do you know the truth and God doesn't know that somehow? But he allows it. I just, what I'm trying to tell you and get it across to everybody is the following, that God's mercy is absolutely unimaginable. And some people ask this, can we pray for our dead relatives or something? Of course you can. Okay? Of course you can. You cannot lose hope in God's mercy. Of course you can. Look at this. This is the day of judgment. This guy's recognize God and everything. Okay? That they can see God. Let's put it that way. And they are still doing this, which is actually insulting to God. Let's put it that way. Okay? But he permits. Then once fear subsided in their hearts, they asked, "What did your Lord say?" They respond, "The truth, and he is the exalted, the all-magnificent." Okay. So the truth comes in there. The truth is there. Remember now, it cannot exist if it's not the truth. A lie does not exist. A lie does not have physical existence. Only the truth has physical existence. That it comes into some kind of existence in this world, otherwise it would not be created. That's exactly what these guys are saying. Okay? They respond the truth. Okay. Should I take other gods besides him? This is 36:23. If the all-gracious words harm for me, their intercession will not benefit me in the least. And they can nor can they ever save me. Okay. This guy recognizes that intercession is something that some people will do, and God's love, mercy, and tolerance allows that. Okay, and that's what God is saying. So we just go on and see what he says. Say, all intercessions belong to God. To him belongs the kingship of the vacuum and matter, and to him you will be returned. Okay. So he allows that. This is part of his huge mercy, love, and tolerance. Okay. 43:86. And those whom they call upon besides him have no power of intercession, okay, except those who bear witness to the truth and they know. If it is according to the truth, then it's fine. There's no problem. But then why would you repeat the truth? Because you know that God is the truth. That's what you have to ask yourself. Would you do that? The answer is no. With the knowledge that you're getting from the Quran, okay, we would not do that. We say we hear and we obey. Okay? I told you that, okay, when he says, do not eat the meat of the pig, some people say, yes, sir, we hear and we obey. And some people, they go and trying to analyze that, why he said this. Which group do you want to be part of? And so we owe those questions to ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? 53:26. And so many angels in the vacuum, their intercession will have no benefit in the least. Okay? Except after God has given permission for whomever he wills and approves. Okay? So these other guys also do intercessions. Can you imagine that? But it has to be according to truth, because that's one of God's names. The truth is God's name. If it's not, it doesn't exist. Okay? So that's what God wants to make out of us. That's why we went through this trial of this life. You see, do we argue with God? Do we demand proof all the time? And if it's not there, if there is no mathematical thing this week, then we are not going to log on next week because we didn't see any proof. Or we are not going to go to the website anymore. Because these are old stuff. We want new stuff. Okay? But he keeps giving it to us. He does not hold back. He keeps giving it to us. Okay. Then the intercession of it says did not benefit them. Okay? God allowed that, and they were all a bunch of hooey. It didn't matter. They were all garbage. Okay? This guy was really, really bad. That's it. Okay, these are the occurrences of the word intercession in English that I went through. You can look at it with shafa'a or something in Arabic, and then you can do it if you want to with this system that we have here on this page here. That that you can go ahead and search for these things and read it for yourself. But what I'm trying to say that the whole thing is also good news. That's what I'm trying to say. And what we should deduce from this whole exercise we just did, okay, that these are good news from God. And He tells us who He is, and His kindness and His tolerance. Okay? And you know something and you don't want to even hear other people say it. You think that you are basically it. People become arrogant. They don't want to even listen to anybody else. There are some scientists that they think that they are, they claim godhood or something. And so, but He is God, and this is what He does. Can you imagine this? The tolerance, the level of tolerance that God has, and again, He also what He does in the case of the angels, He says, I know something you do not know. So He brought proof for them. Why Him? Okay. Remember those guys? They said, the prophet said to the children of Israel, God says that Saul is going to be your king. Why Saul? He's not even rich. Okay. So immediately questioning God's wisdom. They didn't say, okay, we hear and we obey. They didn't say that. Then God tells His prophet, okay, tell him because of this. That's why. But again, we go back and we want proof on why. We never finish with that. So that's how God distinguishes between those two guys. The guy who says, yes, we hear and we obey, that's it. And then there's a guy who says, why? That guy is not sure. That guy is questioning God's wisdom. Okay? These intercessors are amicus curiae. They are friend of the court. Okay? Like the judge, who's God, doesn't know these things. They have to bring information to him. That shows the ridiculousness of this, but again, as I said, God allows it. And I cannot imagine this. I mean, as I said, this mercy and tolerance and kindness and love that God has is absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. We cannot even fathom it. We cannot imagine it. And so, as I said, throughout this whole thing, it also embedded implicitly in there that, yes, God is the all-gracious, the all-merciful. Okay, and that's the good news. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this unit. Allahu Kabir.